Live Q&A. We are Friday, second Friday of January in 2024. Let's jump straight into what's been going on here in the market. First question, how's the market? Of course, that's something I feel like we're getting asked that all the time right now. I would say it's interesting. It's not an it depends as much as it's interesting. Of course, it always depends. But when I say it's interesting, we're seeing things that maybe we weren't really anticipating for the first 2 weeks of January. The first one is I'm seeing plenty of properties that have been on the market for 30, 40, 50, 70, 80, 90 days that are now getting offers and sold conditionally. So that was something that I really wasn't anticipating coming into 2024. I thought those properties would still stay on the market or even change their price for that matter and then start getting action. But these properties have been getting action at a price that they haven't really moved in a few months. Still seeing plenty of activity when it comes to properties that are maybe like a single family home, for example, a semi-detached home, for example. Plenty of people still going to see those properties and submitting offers on the properties. We're starting to see multiple offers come back for some type of properties in the market. And that's not a blanket statement. That is some type of properties. Most notably, it's the semi-detached and detached homes that are relatively priced lower than maybe they would have been about a year ago, or sorry, 2 years ago now at this point. Definitely priced lower than that point. But even stuff that would have been selling for more of a premium back in May, June of 2023, if those price points are down compared to that time and buyers are seeing those opportunities where rates have also been pulling back slowly but surely, we're starting to see more action in those price points. I've also been seeing and having plenty of conversations with people looking to maybe make that upsize move here in the near future. And I've been seeing it more and more where the condos are relatively holding their value now. I think we've kind of hit where things have, let's say, give or take, if inventory stays where it is, which is pretty high. I think that seeing where prices are at might maybe have been a bit of a floor now for condos. We'll see, of course. But the houses that have come down in value, the percentage point, if the condo's down 10%, but the house is down 10%, on average, generally on a step up, you're still coming out ahead, which I've discussed many times on this channel. So just something to consider or think about when I say the market's interesting. It is definitely interesting, and different things are happening week by week. If we get more inventory in the future, that could also play a role in how things look. Or if rates come down and maybe some of the investors or those who were thinking of selling might just say, you know what, the rate's now more in line with where I can afford my payments a little better or a little more comfortable. And maybe those properties might not actually, or maybe be removed from the market, or might not have ever come to the market. So it's interesting. Let's see how it plays out. Next one, better to sell first or buy first. This is a 100% every single time a case by case scenario. If you have a property that's ready to sell, and this is a big if. So when I say ready to sell, like if it's already been staged and photographed and ready to go, and you're out there exploring the market on the buy side, if you buy something, are you ready to list right away? And I don't say that lightly. And I mean right away, meaning you want to try to make the move as best you can in the same market. So if you're buying and selling, you want it to be in the same market, because then it's pretty relative on if you're getting a high price point for your place, you're paying a high price point for the next place, or if you're getting a lower price point in the next place, you might be taking a less of a price point on your place. You want to do both at the same time. And if you're not in the same market, then what could happen is you might buy at a higher price and then maybe more inventory comes to market and you sell at a lower price, or vice versa. You might buy at a low price and it might work out for you that you sell at a higher price, but you never know what that could be. And generally I would say, or most of the time I would say, you want to have your property ready if you are looking to sell, or if you want to play it safe, which is always, recommended, again, case by case. If you want to sell first, then you know what you're going shopping with on the buy side as well. So totally different conversations, totally unique scenarios, and definitely a case by case basis every single time. We are not yet seeing a ton. We're starting to see a little bit, but not a ton of sale with a condition or purchase with a condition of sale of home. We haven't seen a ton of that in the city of Toronto, and I don't anticipate seeing a lot of it moving forward, although we may. And you know what? If we do, I think that could be a good option for buyers and sellers. So just something to consider if that's the case. Most bang for buck with renovations. I get this asked all the time. I have to say it's paint and lighting. Like those are the two things that I think are relatively cheap. And if you want to put in a little bit of sweat equity, which I would suggest you do to save a really good amount on paint or on painting, hiring someone to paint, of course, and get an electrician in to change the light fixtures, you can brighten up a room very nicely and definitely give it a nice fresh look. I think the paint and lighting combination, it's something that we typically do when preparing listings for the market before staging. It definitely helps show the property in its better light. And if you're living there, what a great way to spruce up a room. Paint and lighting, you'll definitely, I've never seen where if you're, of course, unless you're painting some crazy color, but I've never seen it where it doesn't benefit the home in a good way if you are painting something and making it look nice and fresh, and especially when it comes to lighting too, brightening up the room as well. Typically, I would say best bang for your buck. Even lighting is relatively inexpensive. You don't have to go get crazy expensive light fixtures, depending on, of course, the level of property, but even some new, just some new lighting, like that you can get, like flush lighting or some nice fixtures that are maybe not break the bank, but just a good bang for your buck. Those are the keys. Paint and lighting go a plenty long way. If you don't want to do major renovations, that definitely helps. So that's your live Q&A. Have an awesome Friday, awesome weekend, and see you next week.